question. Would you prefer to go to the church? They got the rock band playing and the strobe lights and the pastor coming from the roof with the smoke and all of that. He got on a fly Dior. Or you just trying to go to the church with the hard pupils, the same two Bibles in front of you. Them Bibles ain't been open. You know what I'm saying? The pastor comes down to the same 6 choir members that was last week.
I cannot believe
I'm just saying, like, what would you rather do? Yo, it's a show you didn't know you needed, the
Just Looking Out podcast.
Yes, I'm Sean T.
Saint D.
Aaron S.
Yes, man, we're back again, and we're going to get right into it today. Man, what's killing social media right now is the Druski skit that's going on where he was imitating the Mega Church pastors.
Yeah. That's the name of the skit. Yeah.
That's what was it called?
I think it's Mega Church Pastor skit. Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. How'd you feel? How'd y'all feel?
Yeah, I thought it was funny too. First time seeing it, I was like, man, I was like, it was on point. It was just accurate. Just him just hanging from the little rapture and stuff, and then him having the outfit on and the jewelry.
That outfit was fly.
It was fly though. I give him that. He put some thought into that, but there's no different from what all the other pastors that ain't on TV be doing. So.
Well, the thing is, I believe that's the outfit one of the pastors had on.
Yeah, the jacket.
I seen that picture.
Yeah, the jacket.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought it was hilarious. Like, I fell out.
Bro, when he was hanging from the rafters and he was talking about he's a Christian, so that's why he got to wear Christian Dior and Christian Louis Vuittons. And then he puts the red and he's like, that's why I walk in the blood of Jesus.
I think Druski is funny, period. Because, like, when he said, come on up here, I was not expecting somebody named Wanda to come up on the stage talking about some she want to have a baby, because ain't no woman in 2026 named Wanda is trying to have a baby, like
not Wanda.
Not Wanda. That's what I'm saying. That's he was like, you'll get pregnant.
I'm impregnating everybody.
But that's like he got that from Oprah.
Yeah.
So he was like he had. I think Druski is funny.
Yeah, me too.
Like whatever show he's on, I don't watch every episode, but like the people get on the stage and he just make a joke and be like, nope, get him off.
Oh
yeah.
Could have been records.
Yeah. I like those clips. Like he's funny.
Yeah, he is. I agree with that.
He's funny.
So with people knowing that this is what Druski does at this current time, why do you think people still get so offended by it? Like, it's just comedy, or.
I think a hit dog will holler, but I also think that people have this thing where they merge religion with Christ, and I understand you think that, not religion but the church with Christ, and it's not necessarily the same thing. Like, you can have church wherever you are, so they're thinking it's like sacred because they're thinking he's talking about Jesus, but not once did he make fun of Jesus. You get what I'm saying? He was making fun of the Mega Church. That's why it was titled Mega Church Pastor.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Yes,
yeah.
Man. When he was backstage with the money counter playing that Kurt Verkness.
Hey, I be picturing that's probably how they be too. Maybe not laying on the couch, but walking around just
But he was listening to the gospel.
He was.
But you know what? Like, remember the show that we like so much?
The Righteous Gemstones.
The Righteous Gemstones. So basically, I feel like both of those, like, even though one is a skit and one is a series, they're a satire.
If you've never watched The Righteous Gemstones,
I encourage you to.
And you enjoyed Druski's skit, it's on Max.
Yes.
Give that a shot.
There's not one episode that we weren't hollering at.
Yes, it's hilarious. It's definitely hilarious.
So if you like the Druski skit, like you said, watch that.
Yeah.
But I can see why people are split. I think for me, I'm never one to knock how you get connected to your higher power, as long as you're not hurting anybody. But I think the difference is these could be the same pastors. Remember the lady who did the formula experiment, and she called all these churches. She called like 43 churches. Only 9 of them said they'd help. You know, like,
Yeah.
but these are the same churches where, you know, they having all the, you know, like spending money on everything else, driving Maybachs, driving, you know, cars, and people catching buses.
The Lord is good.
I'm not saying those are the same churches, but I'm saying that's a high ratio. You know, like.
So let me ask a question. So they say pastors have a salary. So if they have a salary, how are they getting this money in order to be driving Ferraris and private jets? Because if their salary is at a mega church, I say like 100,000.
A lot of pastors write books.
And have podcasts and stuff like that. Yeah.
Podcasts, probably private sessions that they probably charge who knows what for.
And a lot of them charge for funerals too.
Yeah, funerals, wedding ceremonies, things of that nature.
Should you be charging for that though, as a pastor?
No.
Those things that you
in
just
my
named.
opinion, no.
Okay.
And I'll, you know, what about you?
I mean, if you wrote,
New York, it's that New York about to come out. Go ahead, hustle, baby. Go ahead.
I mean, you got to make a living.
He has a salary.
Okay. He has a salary. I mean, he's getting tax-free money.
I mean, for some of the stuff, yes. Like, I mean, if I wrote a book, of course.
I understand you getting your money for that.
We're talking about the
maybe
church.
not for funerals, not for your congregation, but then of course, if you agree to that, then everybody will want you. Everybody that passed in your congregation will want you to be the person speaking. But definitely for, I think, weddings.
Well, I think that they can also set schedules.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, they could be like, we only do weddings on these days, blah, 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 blah. You know, there's other ways to not overcharge, and, like...
Definitely.
Yeah.
The amount that's charged is a whole different thing, but I guess that also comes with celebrity. You know, people are... people love status, you know what I'm saying? And people will go out of the way for status, pretty much almost with everything.
Yeah.
Which is actually why a lot of these things are even allowed to exist, because, you know, people associate status with, like, greatness. So if you can find yourself anywhere around it, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I could just say I go to this man's church, then that somewhat gives me some clout in this world. You know what I'm saying?
And he had the chorus, like, just swaying behind him to the organ music.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you know, we're going to do this, we're trying to get everybody to Zimbabwe. So we need $4 million. And he was like, and ain't nobody leaving until we get it. And that just reminded me of, like, Marvin Sapp when he was like, didn't he have a Rolex on?
Yeah, I think he did.
And he talking about some close the doors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just, all he did was make a joke of what is happening in real life. Like, we're seeing it.
Yeah. No, we are. And I mean, it was true because, because I think in that part with Druski where he was telling them they were trying to raise $4 million and everything like that because they were trying to build a church and, you know, down in Zimbabwe and stuff. And that's what most churches do now is always a building fund.
Okay.
The building been the same building for the last 40, 50 years. And ain't nothing been added on to it, and you still raising money in the building fund.
But they put the little motto in the front of the church.
Yes. They spend more on the model because it's so 3D and everything. It's like, this is what it's supposed to look like when it's finished in 20, 30, 50, whatever. And it's like, man, that resonated to her. It's like, I done been in churches to where we had building funds, and they didn't have big banners on there talking about, we done raised this much so far. We almost there. Just another $10 more million. And it's like, what you building? But
so at least see the plot of land.
Yeah, or a school, or, you know, like, and granted, we're not, it should be clear, but we know common sense ain't common.
Mm-hmm.
He said mega church pastors. He didn't say anything about, you know, First Baptist Church around the corner. He didn't say, you know, like, to have emotional intelligence, you know how to separate the two. And I think are these the same people, or were they getting offended when the lady was asking for formula?
You know, there's so many different. Are these the same people who were being, like trying to justify Joel Owens? Oh my God, I don't even want to say the man's name. Spirit won't even let me say it, honey. Spirit won't even let me say that man's name. But remember it was that flood.
Oh yeah. He wouldn't let them come.
He was putting up a fuss and stuff like that. So like, I'm just saying, like, let's keep the same energy and hold everybody accountable and giggle about it a little bit. Like, oh my gosh, these people, everything's so offensive. Like, did y'all ever watch an episode of Dave Chappelle? Like, I'm just, it's so annoying. This is why I don't leave the house.
No, I agree with that.
Everybody gets so offended, honey.
Yeah, a lot of them are offended because a lot of them go to them churches and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
they giving money to those churches, and it's like, that at the end of the day, that pastor is going to treat you like if you were a non-member. Because nowadays, most of them you got to be members. I think Bishop Eddie Long had an ATM inside.
Okay.
So so that way you had no excuses not to give your tithes and offerings.
And what was he giving? Oh, so you doing the business? That's all I'm gonna say. Like,
you know what? Growing up, I actually went to a church that became a mega church.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When we first started going there, they had a very small church, and then their congregation grew. So then they had to start preaching out of a gymnasium at Wheeler High School, and then continued to grow. And at first they had just got funds for another church that was a nice, good, medium sized church that could hold everybody. And then I guess they grew even more, and because then they got like this church that's still there now, actually in Marietta. It's huge, and it's kind of crazy to really think about. Like, when just with us sitting here talking about it, just got me thinking. Like, I really actually watched that church grow from just like a small congregation, literally, to like what they have now. So that was pretty cool. I think the pastor of that church is on the up and up, though. I think. I guess you don't ever know, but
and we're not speaking about, like, he wasn't doing a skit about those people, but he did a skit about are most likely the ones that are offended, are most likely the ones that's being called out.
Yeah. Do you think they're the ones starting the outrage? Do you think, like, because I mean, a lot of those pastors do have influence and stuff like that. You think they could be the ones actually spreading the outrage?
Yeah.
I mean, probably, but I think people, like I said earlier, a hit dog will holler. Like, if you're a member, I say an audience member at this point, like, you're most likely going there for, like I said, inspiration, or maybe it does make you feel good, but that doesn't mean somebody else can't make a joke about it, unfortunately. And like, he is a comedian, and it's like, for me, I'm just like, just because something worked for me, it don't mean it worked for somebody else. And somebody may make a joke. Somebody can make a joke about the podcast. You get what I'm saying? But guess what? That's engagement. And you could open the door. You want your flock, right? So say, hey, you know what? This is what we do over here. Come. And there may be people that follow you, but also at the same time, we're at an age where our generation is calling stuff out.
Yeah.
Like, literally, if you pay attention to everything, we are calling stuff out. And we didn't necessarily grow up that way, but at the same time, my pastor at, I won't say the name, but he had a Cadillac. And back then, that was a Rolls Royce and stuff like that. And you had everybody else carpooling to get to work, to church and stuff like that. So, we're not talking about the religion. We're talking about the church and how they move.
Yeah.
The ones that you're calling out.
Yeah, exactly. Our churches are like tax free.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
so
another thing.
I'm pretty sure that definitely helps.
Yeah.
When you put that down as your salary, don't tax that.
Yeah.
So that's true. That how about the pastor that was driving the Ferrari recently? Y'all seen the picture of that? He bought the blue Ferrari. They said it was worth $590 million.
He was an African. Was he in Zimbabwe?
No, he's a Nigerian. Why is that so funny?
It's just all the scamming from Nigeria. I'm not surprised. I mean,
like that type of car, like that's crazy.
Yes.
Now that is something like if my pastor pulled up in, I would probably feel some type of way, like looking at him kind of crazy, like bro, like all right, you doing a little bit too much.
A little too much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Kenneth Copeland, he was a pastor. We gotta find the video of him where the interviewer was like, we heard that you don't want to be on the plane with other people. You want a private jet because people are filthy or demons, like they're demons. And he was like, "Don't you ever say that again." But bro, you said it.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
And then you have Marvin Winans, who when the lady got in the line and she was like, "Oh, I don't have 2,000, but I have 1,000." And
that was crazy.
Well, they gave an explanation, but either way, if I talked to somebody like that at my job, I would be let go. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like, even if people make mistakes. That's not what I asked. Yes. Right. Like, I would be let go.
Y'all don't listen.
She came with $1,200 it was. And she was saying, I'm sowing the seed of $1,200. And he was like, that's not what I said. He was like, what? Hold on, huh? He's like, as for the people to walk up who had 1,000 plus 1,000. He's like, well,
like it was a different way he could address it.
Yeah, definitely. He didn't have to try to embarrass her like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You asked for people who had the $2,000 donations to come up. Honestly, there must be some type of organization they were using. So and her coming up out of turn maybe threw stuff off, but you still don't have to embarrass her like that in front of everybody.
Well, he got his blessing because Tyler Perry donated $100K to him. You saw Marvin Winans embarrasses, a black woman. Tyler Perry embarrasses black women in some of his movies. So, they are in line and he helped them out. So we'll see what the building looks like soon, right? Mm-hmm. $100K, you can expeditiously put that building up, correct?
Well, they need a little bit more for the building fund.
That might get them the parking lot.
Well, what kind of building? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That building looks fine to me. So what are you doing? You patching something up? Is it a different building?
A little gold around the trim.
Oh, okay.
A little gold, dove over here. You know what I'm saying? New little what they call the glass that's colored.
Stained glass.
New stained glass.
Yeah.
With a black Jesus.
For real.
So, but no, that with the churches, especially with the mega churches, like I was saying earlier off camera, a lot of times people, even though they might know that the pastor might be taking a little bit more off the top and stuff like that, depending on how big the name the pastor has, a lot of people will just go just to be associated with that name. A lot of people just go to that church just to say that's the church they go to.
Yeah.
And so they can be around, I don't want to say a certain type of people because I'm pretty sure nobody gets turned down and stuff like that. But, probably just to say that you're in that status of a church. And a lot of people probably go there who probably dress really nice. I'm pretty sure people who go to this mega church, a lot of those cars are Benzes and things like that. So I kind of feel like that's kind of the reason why it's still allowed to go on like that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's still so many people that still want to be a part of it. Like you said earlier, it's a show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And some people just want to. Does it help you get through church? Let me ask you a question. Would you prefer to go to the church? They got the rock band playing and the strobe lights and the pastor coming from the roof with the smoke and all of that. And he got on a fly Dior. Or you just trying to go to the church with the hard pupils, the same two Bibles in front of you. Them Bibles ain't been open. You know what I'm saying? The pastor comes down to the same 6 choir members that was last week.
I cannot believe it.
I'm just saying, like, what would you rather do?
I just think everybody has to find their tribe. Everybody has to find their tribe. So it may work for some people. Mm-hmm. Some people, like myself, I feel like I am the church. Mm-hmm. I am my own church, and Some people may be like, you know what? Didn't make it to Beyonce, so let me go ahead and check out, you know what I'm saying, Pastor, Mike Todd. Like, I guess it depends. Everybody has a right, but we can joke about it.
I've been to a little bit of mixture of both of them churches to where it was a few members into the choir to where it was 30, 40 members and, all the way up, even bigger churches than that too. But
Facts, bro. The dude from Tony playing the drums.
Yeah.
As a
So,
special guest.
Tony.
I would say for me, it would be somewhere in between, like the middle of that. Like I wouldn't want to go to one where, he's coming from the ceiling and everything like that, and they got pyrotechnics and stuff like that and explosions. That's a little bit too much for me. I just need, come on out. I need you to dust the Bible off that you didn't have for about 40 years.
So you want the smaller church?
Yeah, I want the kind of smaller church.
I bet you that people have to sign a waiver when they go in that church because they coming down over you and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
so they can either save your life or send you to the hospital. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there, but I feel like that probably is the case.
Well,
I went to a white people mega church once. Actually, more than once.
Okay.
And the church was so big. Actually, it's in Buckhead. It's actually called Church of Buckhead. And it's so big that the pastor, he has two churches, and he can, he preaches at one Sunday, and the other Sunday just streams to the other one. That's how big church is. So I've been to both when he's streamed and when he's been there or whatever. So the good thing about the church is it stuck to true white people church fashion. It was still only an hour, and they had the rock band, they had the lights. And the pastor was all right, man. He gave straight to it. It was over. The lights cut out. Everybody left out. And the black mega churches, which I've also been to, those are still like a minimum of 3 hours. Like, at least. Boy, you know how it is to be in there from 9 to 12.
Yes. Hungry, just like.
And that's a cut. 9 to 12, because you usually have first church or beginner's church or
first church and then second church.
Second church.
Yeah. That ran on.
I used to do vocational Bible study. We used to be up in there all week.
Y'all did the Wednesday?
Yes, I did the Wednesday too.
Oh, yeah.
I did Wednesday church.
Teen Bible study.
Yeah, Bible study, children's church.
Yeah.
Teen Bible study used to be lit with the right people. Bible study actually used to be fun, man. But yeah, I did all of that too, man. I actually I spent Y2K in church.
Oh wow.
Yeah. The New Year's, man. Me and my mom went to church. And they flicked the lights out at 12 o'clock. Actually, people was actually a little scared about that. People was a little like,
because they thought, they were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, everything was gonna go down.
They did flip the lights off, and then flip them back on and stuff like that. But yeah, so I did spend Y2K in the church. Actually, the church that like I said, over time became the Mega Church. They was in their middle section at that time. So that was pretty cool, man. At the end of the Druski skit, let's talk about these blessings. At the end of the Druski skit, a man walked up to his Rolls Royce and he put his hands in the window. Druski told him to get his hands. He said, "Get your hands off the fuck off my car." Or whatever like that. And the man asked him for a blessing for his wife or whatever. Druski asked him, did he make his tithes? The dude very quickly said no. And Druski drove off. Told him to get
now that part I do believe.
Yes.
I don't know about the gum part, but
He
I
spit his
definitely
gum.
believe.
He did spit his gum.
Yeah.
I mean, because like I said, like Marvin Sapp was not letting nobody out, and that's what Marvin Sapp said. He was like, close the doors. He enunciated and everything.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of like when I was going to the Baptist church. What did they used to say? Oh, we ain't leaving here till somebody get their life to Christ. That's how I ended up baptized.
Yes.
You gave into the peer pressure?
Listen,
Yeah, they had peer pressure at church.
So,
I ain't gonna lie, I sat there a couple of times thinking about it. Like, he's talking to me.
I didn't have a choice.
Yes.
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I was sitting next to my grandma, and she was like, if you don't go on up there and so you can get baptized. I got greens on the stove. What, ma'am? What?
Did you wear clothes to get wet?
Yeah. What?
Did you know you was getting baptized? Did you have clothes on to get
no,
wet?
they didn't even have that conversation with me. No, you got baptized the next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
She said, "Go up there now." I was like, well, am I prepared for this?
You
the Sunday dress.
You go up there and like,
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, so life has been changed. I'm 9. I don't even know what I'm doing. I just know it's either this or a switch.
Yeah.
You know.
That's wild.
So you gonna get up there.
So you got saved under duress?
Yes.
Yes.
So okay, so really quick, like what was your baptism stories? Or were y'all baptized?
No, I was baptized. It's kind of similar to like that at some point a moment that in the church they all want you to come up for something for a prayer, for healing or something like that. So you always got like your parents or somebody just kind of nudging you like going up there like and I'm just sitting there like just like no I'm good. And it's like we've been going for a while, so now they nudging you like go up there, go ahead, you want to go up there. I was like no, I don't really want to. So yeah, I got peer pressure into going up there.
Oh, we're traumatized.
I think I was probably like it was like middle school or something like that.
And at an age where we have no clue what's going on.
So I'm walking past everybody, I'm nervous and stuff because everybody looking and stuff. And then the pastor points you out, oh yeah, come on up here and stuff. You like, oh man.
And the organ music it changes up where you go. You go up there.
Hey,
people clapping for you. Go ahead.
Yes,
Lord. Yes, Lord.
All of that. We better stop before we gonna have our own skit. They be bad.
Ain't that the truth?
Yes. So yeah, that's how I got sent up there.
Me too.
So I never got dipped in the water, but I went to a private Christian school for 3 years actually. And every Wednesday we actually did like a Wednesday service or whatever like that. And one Wednesday, at the end, the pastor pretty much just it seemed like he just practiced whatever he was going to do on Sunday on us. So at the end, he still just asked, like, did anybody want to get saved? Because, and,
that's what it was called too.
Saved, yeah. Because I never got dipped in the water, but I did walk up there one Wednesday just, because
you felt the spirit.
At this point in time, I've been going there for 2 years.
And
he been asking me,
yeah.
He been asking me for, every Wednesday for the last 2 years. So I went up there one good time. Man, I remember I was on my best behavior for like 2 days after that. Like I was like, I'm saved. Like I can't do, what I'm saying? Like
he walked in the blood of Jesus.
I walked in the blood of Jesus. Yes. But like I think that lasted for like 2 days, bro. I tried not to lie to my parents. I tried to do my homework, study, and everything, bro. I was like, yo, I'm going to heaven right
now. 48 hours.
If I go right now, I'm going with Jesus. So, but that's the only time. But I've never been baptized though. I never been dipped in the water, man.
I've been baptized twice.
Yeah.
Dang.
I know.
Twice?
Yeah, 2 different religions.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But yeah,
the first time wasn't right.
Yeah.
So we got baptized you twice.
Yeah.
So, how did y'all feel about being at church and doing communion?
I mean, as a kid,
that was my favorite part.
Because back then they was using Welch's.
Yes, they were. Yes.
That grape juice used to be on point.
Yes.
Right.
And I ain't gonna lie, that unsalted cracker was all right too, bro. You dip it in the grape.
Little did you know that was our journey into charcuterie and shots.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even know
how big my cracker piece was. Used to be my favorite part. Like that used to be the most exciting part. Like, oh yeah, it's pretty big. Then they got cheap, started giving you everybody little circles.
Oh my god, with no taste to it. I'm like I literally was like, okay, this must be Jesus' body because like this is not.
Yo, they started giving you the top layer of the cracker.
So you had pieces of that is true. That was funny though.
Like in the Jehovah's Witness religion, we weren't allowed to take the communion. So what we would do is because only the 144,000, which I'm assuming based on when this church started, them people gone. But we have to pass the glass around and pass the crackers around, and then that was it. And that's a whole different thing. But yeah, like I just feel like what? Why are you laughing?
Nah, nothing. Go ahead.
No, but I'm saying I just feel like I would like to go now to a mega church to see what's going on.
We should go this Sunday.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe not this Sunday, but
I'm pretty sure they have a bookstore in there because I heard they be having bookstores. I heard that they probably have a person that actually greets you. Like,
yeah, they do be having somebody that hold the door open.
Yeah.
It's always an older lady too.
So when's the last time y'all been to a church? When's the last
church in general?
Yeah, been to a church. Like actually, not like listening to the word.
I was about to say because I went to a funeral.
Yeah, not that
too long ago.
Been to a church and actually sat down and heard the word.
You know, the pastor still preaching about the funeral.
For me, not too long ago. I think sometime last year when my mom is in town, she got a church that she likes to go to. And it's actually a very small, like intimate church or whatever. So she likes to go to that, and she likes when I go with her and stuff like that. So I believe whenever the last time she was here, I attended church with her. I don't know if it was last year or the year before last. Dang, I hate to admit that on camera. Go ahead.
What about you?
When I went to Hillside, but like Hillside is one of those churches where they use like Christianity, but they also incorporate the Orishas and Yoruba preaching. It was actually a church where Iyanla Van Zant was a priestess or a I don't know, like a speaker, or she was a member there. And like so for me, it was not a mega church, but it was a bigger church. And I think, what's his name? Oh my gosh, I have to find his name. But
Jesus.
No, I'll keep going. But you guys probably have heard him, not Johnny Matheson.
Johnny Manziel?
No, but I forgot his name.
He's a football player.
Yeah.
But no, it's it's not a mega church, but it's cool. But to me, if I was to be a part of any spiritual practice or to go to a church, it would probably be something intimate, like with a few people, a few energies and stuff like that.
Okay. Since we on the subject, y'all ever seen celebrities? Well, any other celebrities at church? I have. I have. I went to a church one time with a friend of mine, and Candy Burgess was there, and also one of the dudes from 112. I don't know.
Q?
Not Q. It was Q. It was Q. I'm sorry. It was Q. Yeah, Q. And then the lady who sang As We Lay.
Shirley Caesar.
Shirley Caesar. You be on point with them names, girl.
Everybody but who I'm looking for right now.
Shirley Caesar. So all three of them was there because they were in a play, right? So Shirley Caesar got that song, that As We Lay, I don't gotta sing the words.
I was about to say, go ahead.
But anyway, she started singing the song, and she started singing the song in the church.
Yeah.
In the church?
Yes, in the church. And people in the church was going crazy when she started singing. Y'all know what that song is about. It's about adultery. You know what I'm saying? Sleeping with a married man, so on and so forth. They both got somebody. So she started singing that song in church. They was going crazy, bro. And I was like, yo, like, what? This is not supposed to be sung in church. But then she flipped it in the end. So in the end, when they got to the part where she was like, As we lay, she said, As we pray. And then people really went crazy in the church. Then it was really like up out of their seats and all that.
Boy.
But yeah, man. So that's I think that's the only time I've ever seen like a sub with like say Candy from Escape, and then Q from 112 and Shirley Caesar. Like set in that place. So that was cool. But yeah, when she was singing that song and they was in there up out of their seats, I was like, see, people really don't really care.
That's true.
She's singing a song about adultery in church, and y'all in here singing with her.
Reverend Ike.
Reverend Ike.
Yeah.
Turner.
Well, say
just Reverend Ike.
That was a joke. I'm pretty sure his last name's not Turner.
But no, they had like altars and stuff like that, and like they incorporated it. I was like, oh, this is nice. Um, but as far as celebrities at a church, not that I'm sure I have, but um,
So they were saying that they did like a poll of saying that there's not a lot of younger people going to churches now. They shown like the little stats and stuff saying that majority of churches are older, I guess 50s, 60s and stuff like that, and the 20-year-olds are not in there, the 30-year-olds are not in there. It's just basically maybe 40 and maybe up.
I can see that.
So how do you think the churches are going to survive that later on? Because I mean,
well, a lot of churches stream now, so that's a big part of it. While a lot of people are not in church, a lot of people just watch church from home, like everything else. And then also, I kind of feel like, once again, with the rise of social media and its popularity and the platform it's given for a lot of people to speak their minds, that it has brought a lot of religion into question. More than it has ever been in the past. You have a lot more people questioning things that they've heard in the Bible, or questioning things that people religious beliefs have said, so on and so forth. And I kind of think that's actually spreading a lot, to the point where I think religion is actually slowly changing for society. I don't want to say like, yeah, that was the Lord. That was the Lord. But what I'm basically trying to say is, I feel like, there were other religions before Christianity. Some that we've never even heard of, that might have been around for thousands of years. But slowly but surely, people start questioning them. And from what I'm seeing on the internet now, I do feel like Christianity is being questioned a lot. There are a lot of questions that people want answers to, and things like that you probably never find. But I think that might be a reason for a little bit of the decline.
Okay, so I can see that. What about you, Aaron?
So do y'all want spiritual, or do y'all want? Because I can answer them always, but I will go with yes. As far as there are different generations, our generation, millennials, we're here to transform, acknowledge what's going on, and to break generational curses. And if we can be honest, a lot of generational patterns, I should say, started in the church. There's certain scriptures that were basically telling you to continue to be a slave, but then there's other parts, that may contradict that within the Bible. So that alone causes confusion.
Yeah.
And then you have the younger generation that are the Generation Zs. I won't give you my birth chart stuff, but I will say they are the ones that are the commentators. They're calling it out. They're going on social media. They're like, no, I'm not going.
Yeah.
And then you have the younger generation. We'll say, whatever they're called, Generation Y. What are they? If they're Generation Z, they're gonna be alphas. So they're the ones that's really gonna break it down and restructure everything, especially religions and stuff like that. But a lot of it did start with us watching contradictions. I mean, I remember my pastor from the church I went to when I was a kid, at my grandmother's funeral, forgot that you baptized me, forgot that you christened me. I'm 16 years old, and you walk up to me and you say, how you doing? I said, well, considering my grandma's gone. And he said, well, if you doing as good as you look, you'd be on top of the mountain. I don't think that's appropriate, sir.
I don't think he was talking about the right mountain.
Right.
No, but I say all of this to say, like, these are little things that we probably have witnessed, or you see your family saying, do as I say, go to church, and they may not live according to the Bible, which again is a confusing doctrine as well. So it's like you said, I do see that these younger generations, including us, we're doing it differently. We're looking within, self-care, journaling, realizing that without being able to put the words with it, what we're not realizing is we are the temple. And I think even though you may not have a word for it. When you are doing self-care, that is your own form of dogma or religion. You get what I'm saying? When you're taking care of yourself, eating right, doing all of the right things. So yeah, I think it is slowly going away.
Yeah, in a way,
I
I think
mean,
it'll start going away because I mean, we were all going because our moms made us, grandmas made us go and stuff like that.
that's true.
So now that we,
We're not making our kids go.
yeah, when you now our generation when we're not letting them making our kids go to where every Sunday you're coming with me to church and stuff like that. So because once they kids start getting older, they not even gonna be going to church. So
Yeah.
I guess it would be online, and I guess mostly that just pulls strings from that. But I mean,
Yeah.
if you're not knowing about it, then I mean, I don't see it. It's gonna be as high as it was to where there's churches on every corner and stuff like McDonald's and stuff like there is. So.
Well, let me ask you this because you mentioned something where you were like, yeah, when my mom's here, I go to church with her. But I haven't been in like a year or so, and I feel bad saying that. What was the reasoning why you felt bad saying that?
It's like a society norm to go to church, especially kind of like amongst black folk. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing most likely we do is get up and go to church. So I don't know, just saying it out loud, just saying like, man, I ain't been to church in like a year and a half. It may be even longer than that. It just sounds weird to say out loud.
Yeah.
You know, once again, a lot of things are just a lot out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
So when it's called out or when you realize it yourself, it kind of just takes you back a little bit. So that's why I was just kind of taking it back, just saying it out loud. Like
I know for me, like what allows me to question religion as a whole or churches as a whole is because how my family was so quick to like, oh, we're Baptists. Oh, we're Jehovah's Witnesses now. And I'm like, hold on. Like it made me go out and search else, look for everything else. And I did start studying those religions that's 1,000 years old and stuff like that, and start connecting other things to it. So I think with more people like myself allowing other people to think outside the box, we're having more of that dialogue. You can still include religion, the Bible, because there are great stories and all of that, but I don't think that's the end all be all. When you go to certain churches where they flying out the sky over you, I don't think that necessarily helps the argument either.
Yeah, I agree.
Does it deliver a better message when it comes with the strobing lights and
Well, some people got epilepsy. What epilepsy?
epilepsy?
Like I'm telling you, that's why I know they be
Don't
having
go to the
people.
mega church.
That's what I'm saying. I know they be having waivers, man. They have to at this point.
Yeah, it pulls more people in. I think when you have all the fancy, all the little gadgets and everything, it just pulls more people in to want to see what it is. But at the end of the day, though, I mean, these tithes and offerings and stuff. I mean, you expecting a certain percentage from somebody's check.
Yeah.
they want your taxes.
Some churches
and they
do.
don't even, and they're tax free.
That's true.
And they're holding you hostage, and I stand by that. If you're telling people to close the door, are you saying that nobody's leaving? That's giving. That's giving hostages. Like
he went back and said he didn't say that either. He said
he
that's
didn't
not
say
what I
close the
meant.
doors?
He said that, but he said that's not what he meant, though.
Maybe he talking. Well, as a pastor, you shouldn't be closing any doors, correct?
That's true. That's true. That's true. But he said that we all can leave together. So he did. He said that. He was like, close the doors. We can all leave together.
He gonna manipulate until he can't manipulate no more.
So yeah, that's something else right there. That pastors are, as they can read in the Bible and they can manipulate it how they want it to, the perception of it, like how you were saying back in like slavery and stuff like that. Especially even that movie with Nat Turner in it, Birth of a Nation. When he started realizing what they were doing, and he was like, all right, they're using this for their own way. So So yeah, that being said, that you could get certain people who just like, all right, yeah, I'm supposed to be giving my money to these people. I'm supposed to be doing this. This was the right thing to do, but the church is only passing out turkey dinners on turkey on Thanksgiving.
And turning away, So it's just not saying everybody, but
yeah, no, that's everybody, but
I'm just saying that was a high ratio.
That's a fact.
Yes.
From her experiment, 43-9.
Yes.
If that was a football game.
yes.
Should the pastor never become bigger than the church?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm answering that, and I'm gonna say why. Because Matthew chapter 21, verse 12 through 13, when Jesus said, "You guys have taken advantage of the temple. You guys are literally why are you selling stuff in here?" And I'm just gonna repeat that Matthew chapter 21, verses 12 through 13. You can read it for yourself. I'm not here to preach, but I'm saying I'm the type of chick to go against you with your own Bible, So, or our Bible, because I got 3 at home. So you are not supposed to be above like your church. Jesus wasn't in a mansion based on their scripture. The person who died for our sins, he was really living off of donations and hospitality. And if you're supposed to be Christ-like, that's how you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to have a private jet and people taking buses.
So preachers should be poor?
No, what I'm saying is,
what type of preacher would you want?
If you have the ability to get that type of money, what's wrong with giving back? There's no reason, in my opinion. I feel like if you're getting these donations because somebody's so inspired by you, instead of a building fund, why don't you help build a home of a single mother or a family where the husband just lost his job?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. And I mean, of course, you can take a percentage. We're supposed to be Christ-like. They're here to lead based on the doctrine of Jesus. And Jesus wasn't, he said his kingdom was up yonder. Like, he shouldn't be richer than his congregation, because I feel like you're supposed to lift others up. I feel like a lot of our leaders, they got along with donations. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Like, I just feel like that's how they had their, the hospitality of others.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Because I mean, like I said, when it comes to something of that nature, with your pastor pulling up in a Rolls Royce or whatever like that, or driving or stepping out in Christian Dior and things like that, and you know what I'm saying, and you got your stuff from the mall or wherever, it definitely could make you probably feel some way. So I definitely agree with you. I feel like a pastor in just a nice normal suit, still a nice luxury vehicle. It don't got to be nothing too crazy, but I feel like that's a comfortable status that I would with my pastor. Like, dang, bro, I need car service, and you just pull up in your third Rolls Royce.
That's
true.
That's true.
Like, bro, I kind of want my pastor to be having a little car trouble too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I want him to be able to relate what I'm going through.
That's
so. That's
facts.
I wouldn't go as far. I think the issue is mostly just the mega church pastors. I wouldn't even say it's everybody else. Like, I just feel like, but then again, at the same time, this is me playing devil's advocate. I feel like whatever gets you to a higher power. But if we laugh at a skit, that's it.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, but they definitely should be on a certain level. I don't think that no pastor should be coming in there wearing $2,000 shirts and stuff like that. Now, if your suit costs about that, then that's different. That's a whole 3-piece suit. You know what I'm saying? But you just
shouldn't have 6 of them.
Yeah, yeah. And you should have a nice decent car or something like that. You shouldn't be pulling up in no Bentley Bentayga and nothing like that.
I didn't even know that existed.
See,
Ferraris.
Yeah, there shouldn't be nothing exotic to where it's like your congregation got to hop on the MARTA bus to come see you.
The church thing is I mean, we could go on forever about that. I'm pretty sure we
Yeah.
still got a lot more church stories to go.
That's true.
We probably
That
have
is
church
true.
trauma stories too.
Bro, I got church camp stories.
Right.
Bro, you name it. We could be here.
Summer camps.
Church steppers, ushers, choir members.
All of that, man. I sung in the choir. But anyway.
Oh,
tell about your song.
Right, real fast.
Okay.
So my mom made me sing in the choir. I hated it because one, I can't sing. And then but you know, I could blend. And that's what I did. I just sung I used to just sing really low.
Was the Pharaoh of
yeah.
child.
Yeah, I just sing really low, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was in the choir around the time that Stomp was hot.
Yeah.
So we sung Stomp. I probably did Stomp about 3 weeks in a row. You know, we did Silver and Gold.
I'd rather have
we all
Jesus.
I actually got the solo for
Silver.
Silver and Gold.
Okay.
The children's choir.
Then Silver and Gold. What else did we sing?
Kirk Franklin had us in a choke.
Oh, but Kirk Franklin had it on lock.
He did for a while.
For a good little minute.
For a while,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, Kirk Franklin. If you wasn't seeing Kirk Franklin in your church, did you really go to church? You know?
Facts.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I hated it though because it was on Saturdays, you know, so that was already the worst. You know, I'm outside playing basketball. I'm like, oh, we gotta go. You gotta choir practice. You know what I'm saying? It was 2 hours long. Everything about it, bro. So I was glad when my mom stopped letting me go to that.
But you know what I will not take away from the church though, our experiences, is that it taught us to really be able to learn speaking skills as I say that. It allows us to be able to go to work and we can hold a conversation, we can speak up in front of people, we can do a podcast like this. You know, I feel like a lot of that does come from the church. You know, when you're in the Easter program, everybody had a scripture that they had to do.
Easter egg,
you know, like an Easter program where everybody had a scripture they had to do. You had your Easter spinus on as kids,
yes,
and stuff like that. It does help us with, you know, anxiety and stuff. Even if we are nervous, we know how to get through it. And I feel like that lady, the first lady of the church, say, "Take your time, baby." That does do something to you, even in adulthood. You know, so I'll give it that.
I guess really fast. Let's just yeah, let's continue talking about it. I just, you know, you ever had a pastor that you just really really liked, like a really good pastor that you enjoyed? I had a few.
Yeah. Some of the smaller churches.
When you say like, do you mean like I like their personality or I like their speech?
Yeah, that when you know that you just recall really enjoying when they were, you know, doing their thing up there. For me, like I said, when I spoke about the church that I watched go from a really small church to a mega church, that pastor, his name was Pastor Marcus. He passed a few years ago, but he was a really good pastor. He had an accent, I remember that, but I mean, he was really good. And then also the pastor of my private school that I went to for 3 years, Pastor Anderson, he also passed not too long ago. But he was just like the coolest guy, man. Like looking back on it now, he drove a Navigator. He didn't drive nothing too crazy, but the Navigator was hot back then. So you know, back then it was crazy. But looking back, you know what I'm saying. But it wasn't no Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying? He had the Navigator, man, and then he re-upped and got the newer Navigator with the TV in the back. But he was a good guy, man, and he passed not too long ago. But like he was a good guy. You know, that was a good pastor for sure. So shout out to him and his his family.
Well, for me, I would say actually when I went to Visions Church just a few times, which is a LBGQ plus church, and he gave words that he gave a sermon that always stuck with me. Like it was basically saying how like you can't move forward if you holding back. You know, you pulling back and stuff like that. That always stuck with me. That's why I always say like, you know, you can take a message from everywhere. That's why I'm totally not against people going to church and stuff like that. There's always a message wherever you go. And I'll say I had a really good vibe when I went to Hillside. I felt like they gave a lot of good feedback as well. You see, I've been out to church so long I don't even know what to call it. I said feedback.
Feedback. They gave a lot of good.
What about you?
Yeah, there's been a couple of churches I've been to here and there, like that somebody would tell me about, little smaller churches, and I go to, and you could tell, like, given the right, scenario, that they could be bigger churches than what they are and stuff, because the pastor's relatable to the congregation, and they make it funny and stuff. So I had like a couple little churches like that to where I went to. I was like, I could see myself going here, but due to like me being invited in the distance of where it was, I was like, I wouldn't be able to make it to that every Sunday to be, trying to hear it. But yeah,
you'd be mad if they had a guest pastor or something.
Oh yeah. those guest pastors, they just don't do it like that. They don't do it like
why the guest
pastor.
pastor gotta preach before the actual pastor though?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, okay,
it's a warm up and stuff. Yeah,
bruh, the guest pastors, bruh.
Yeah.
That church was a time. And so maybe the mega church like now, it's like might be a time for others. Like again, it might be a show.
It's entertainment.
And I'm sure they inspire people. Some people be so happy, and they probably go on and start a business. Like if it works for you, it works for you.
Yeah.
But if I click like on a skit because it was funny about you flying out in the air,
shouldn't be no issue.
That's true. That's true.
That's not what we used to. Our pastor didn't do that.
I agree.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Well,
this was good. We thought that we weren't gonna have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, but we definitely we have a lot in common with our experiences in the church.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody ever got popped in church?
Yes, I got pinched. I didn't get popped.
I have got pinched too.
I got pinched. I didn't get popped, honey. They was too classy for that. But we couldn't even cry.
Oh yeah.
Now if you were acting up prior to walking into said church, then yes, popping could occur. But if you acting up and you fidgeting, we didn't even have give us a chance. We didn't even have tablets. You know what I'm saying? Like. We were really trying to entertain ourselves.
Yeah.
And they used to be so slick. They'd be like, oh my God, get their nails all up in you.
No, that's true. I have been.
And it wouldn't even be somebody that you related to. It could be like a grandma of the church or a first mother.
That's a fact.
Oh, have y'all ever fell asleep in church before?
Yes.
Oh, I've definitely fought sleep. You definitely fight it.
Yes,
for real, bro. Like, yo, I'm not gonna make it. Oh man,
everybody just slump over you like, oh man.
That's what I'm talking about. But the white people church, you don't get a chance to get tired. It's over as soon as it starts. I mean, everything carefully mapped out. Rock band playing for 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And then they do a quick little donation, not 2, not 3, just one time. They come around with the basket or whatever like that.
They don't hold you hostage. They give from the heart, and they still got a mega church.
Preacher go, yes. Preacher man, get up there, preach for 30 minutes. All right, everybody, you guys have a swell day.
Yes.
In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, our Savior. And then they open the doors and you leave.
Yeah.
Hour tops. It takes longer to get out the parking lot.
Yes. Fact.
Oh my gosh, that one church around where I used to live in Buckhead, they used to have the police come up. They had to direct the traffic.
All of that, yes, man.
Yeah, that's true.
That used to be crazy when I used to drive by that area and see them police out there.
Crazy.
Like that. All right, so that's all the topics we have for today, guys, man. Thank you once again. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy our content.
And hype us up too.
Hype us up, man. We are the Lookout Crew. I'm Sean T.
I'm Saint D.
Aaron, that's the best.
Ooh. And per usual, just looking out.